Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. I'm your co-host for today, Mike Bailey, along with Ellen DePlacido. Good morning, Ellen.
Good morning, Mike.
How are you today?
Good.
Good, good.
Recovering from my long weekend.
Very good. Hey, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, we're getting close to Mother's Day, so we talked about having a discussion about hanging plants or hanging baskets.
Yes, in fact, when our
Okay.
listeners hear this program, Mother's Day will already have passed. But
Oh, that's right.
that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that this information is not going to be relevant, because
Mm-hmm.
it is. And those hanging baskets really are a wonderful gift. In fact, even as today, as we speak, I now have two of them hanging on my front porch. Okay, I went to the nursery over the weekend. I wasn't going to buy anything. I was just going to do some window shopping, and I
Uh-huh.
found this wonderful hanging basket that and I love the color, so I had to get it. So
You had to have
yeah,
it.
I had to have it. And then one of the kids brought something also. So
Oh.
and they really
So
add
did
to.
you get it for your wife or did you get it for yourself?
I got it for my wife, obviously.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And they do add a lot of nice
Oh, bad.
curb appeal to your home too.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
they really do. So and the goal when you buy these baskets, they're not cheap, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but you
Mm-hmm.
with a little bit of work, you can keep them really nice looking all season long.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to be careful of a couple of things. And
Mm-hmm.
what are some of those key factors, Ellen, that you need to address to keep those plants good and attractive all season?
Well, usually when you go to the nursery, you're going to see very large plants by this time. They have a good size on them, but sometimes those containers can be relatively small. And what happens with that situation is sometimes that soil is going to get kind of warm and it will dry out very quickly, especially when they're outside, like they are on your front porch, for example.
Absolutely. The
Right.
drying out, that's what's going to be
Mm-hmm.
their demise. Okay. If you
Mm-hmm.
take good
Mm-hmm.
care of them, you keep them moist, they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
happy plants. But
Right.
what are some
Right.
of the other things, though?
Well, you want to be careful where you place your plants. You want to know how much sun do your plants need and can they withstand the wind? So, are you going to plant them on the north, south, east, or west side of your house? What's the best place for them to be? And another thing people forget, like because we're coming into summer and all that, are you going to have somebody there available every day to take a look at your plants? I mean, what if you go on vacation? Do you have a neighbor or somebody else in your family that can check on your plants and water them if they need to be watered? And check out, like I said before, do your plants need sun or do they need shade? How well will they do in this hot sun that will be coming up hopefully soon? And what temperatures and wind can they tolerate? So that's why you want to look at the stick that would be in your plant and where's the best place to have these plants around your house.
Can I just add a few things, Ellen, please?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That in northeast, southwest, okay,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's so very, very important to take into consideration because my front porch is on the west side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this time of year, the plants do wonderful there.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
as the season goes on, I have to kind of adjust their location because the environment does change. It gets really hot and
Mm-hmm.
blisterly
Mm-hmm.
there, okay, in the summertime. So I have to kind of take that into consideration. You also mentioned the wind.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I got I
Sure.
got my plant on Saturday, and I had to take it down on Saturday night because we had a windstorm.
Right.
Which is
Uh-huh.
fine. I had to pay attention to that.
Sure.
And you know, you're right. They almost need some care almost every day. You got to kind of look
Right.
at them. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Mm-hmm.
let you pick up on a few other things. So, how do we go about watering these things?
Well, kind of check the weight of that plant. If it's pretty light weighted or something, it probably needs some water. So check the weight and water probably almost every day. Because, like we said, that water's going to run through and dry out. And remember, just because it rains doesn't mean that your plant's getting enough water. A lot of times, that rain might just be falling on the leaves of the plant, not even getting to the soil. And so check that soil and make sure that your plant is wet enough that it has enough moisture in that soil.
Yeah, when I think of these potted plants or any kind of a plant, the rain
Mm-hmm.
almost the plant almost acts like an umbrella in
Right,
relationship to
right.
the soil,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
rain falls off into the drip line of that
Mhm.
plant. And
Mhm.
when you talk about the drip line of a potted plant or a hanging basket, guess where the drip line is? It's beyond the edge.
Mhm.
It's beyond the edge of the container, okay, and it
Right.
just kind of runs off. So you do have to kind of, make sure you add supplemental water even after it rains. Check
Right.
those plants.
Yep.
What about fertilizer?
Well, probably you might want to fertilize maybe like every 3 weeks or so, because remember when you water a plant, that's going to leach that fertilizer and minerals out of the soil. So make sure that your soil remains healthy, and you might have to fertilize. And a lot of times we don't think about fertilizing potted plants or hanging baskets, but we really need to be careful about that.
You're right, and what I do
Hmm.
is I use liquid fertilizer, but
Right.
I pretty
Hmm.
much mix it half strength,
Hmm.
and use it a little bit more frequently, okay, to kind
Hmm.
of keep the plants vibrant,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
and that kind of works. But you're right,
Right.
you know that when you water those plants, water pours out the bottom and just leaches minerals out.
Right. Right.
So and again, we start talking about the location. You got to pay
Hmm.
attention during the course of the season as to exactly, what that environment is like for your plants. And again, on those windy days and windy nights, you might have to take them down, okay, and set them on the floor of the porch or wherever you have them, so that they don't get battered around in the wind because
Hmm.
they're up
Hmm.
there, hanging, okay, completely exposed.
Exposed.
So,
Hmm.
but a well cared for basket, can be a wonderful addition to your home. If you keep in mind the watering is so very important, and that
Hmm.
environment that they're in, and how much sun and heat that they're getting is so very, very important. Giving
Hmm.
it some light fertilizer, every 3 to 4 weeks or something like that, and just paying attention to it. And you can't let it go for 5 days and not pay attention. So
Right.
keep that in mind. And when you select hanging baskets for the home or for a gift, is somebody going to be there to take care of them? So,
Hmm.
Ellen, I think that's a pretty good summary of everything in
Okay.
regards to hanging baskets, and we're kind of running out of time for today, for this session anyway. So, how about if we call it a day here and move on? Okay?
Okay. All
Very good.
righty.
Okay, thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening. Bye bye.
Bye.